Hey there, kids. This is Reveal Math lesson 6.5. Let's take a look together. Okay, it says an area model and the distributive property of multiplication can be used to find partial products. We learned this in the last lesson. And you can use this when you're multiplying a multi-digit. Now, multi-digit just means more than one digit by a factor with a one-digit factor, okay? So in the last lesson, we learned how to do 2 digits times 1 digit. In this lesson, you learn how to do 3 digits. Like here's 3 digits right here. It's a multi-digit number times 1 digit. And we'll also learn to do 4 digits by 1 digit. Okay, so they say this, it says b equals, now b is just the answer. This is called a variable. Okay, and we're going to use an area model. We learned this yesterday. It's always a rectangle. Okay, and we're going to use a distributive property. We've been working on that for a while, and we're going to find partial products. Okay, all that is part of the product, and then when you add them all together, you have the whole product. All right, so they say this. They say b equals 3 times 246. Well, they decomposed the 246 into 200 plus 40 plus 6. That's 246, right? And then they multiplied each one of those factors, okay? Okay. And actually, this is the whole factor. Each one of these parts of the factors, I should say, okay, they multiplied each one at a time. So we went 3 times 200, okay, and that will give us a partial product. Then they went 3 times 40, and that will give us a partial product. And then they went 3 times 6. That will give us a partial product. And when we add all three of these together, we'll get the final answer. So once again, it's 3 times 200 plus 3 times 40 plus 3 times 6. Well, 3 times 200 is 3 times 2, that's 6. With 2 more zeros, that's 600. 3 times 200 is 600. 3 times 40, well, that's 3 times 4 is 12, with a 0 on the end is 12, and a 0 is 120. And then they went 3 times 6, and that's 18. If you add each one of these up together, you're going to get your final product, which is 738. Now, this is a partial product, a partial product, and a partial product, and altogether it equals 738. Kids, you're learning how to use this area model to find the product. Okay, let's do it together. You ready? It says, how can you find the product? Use an area model and partial products to solve. Okay, let's do it. Here we go. It says this, 8 times 256. Well, I'm going to put the 8 over on this side because it's a small number and that's a small side. We're going to decompose 256 into 200 plus 50 plus 6. Now 6 is the smallest number, so I give it the smallest amount of space. 50 is the next biggest number, and 200 is pretty big, so we're going to give it the biggest space right here. I'm going to go 8 times 200. I'm going to put the answer here. I'm going to go 8 times 50. I'm going to put the answer here. I'm going to go 8 times 6. I'm going to put the product right here. Okay, well, we can pretend that car 8 is driving this way and car 200 is driving this way, and they're going to crash right here. I know that 8 times 2 is 16, and then there's 2 zeros, 1, 2. So I'm going to put 1, 2, and that equals 1600. That's a comma right there. All right, then I'm going to go 8 times 50. Well, I know that 8 times 5 is 40, but there's one more zero, so 8 times 50 is 400. And then I'm going to go 8 times 6. Car 8 is driving this way, car 6 is driving this way. They're going to crash right here. 8 times 6 is 48. Now I just have to add them together, and whenever you're adding things together, you want to make sure that you line everything up. So we had 1600, 1600, then we had 400, okay, then we had 48. So we're going to find the sum of those three numbers, and that will give us our final product. This is a partial product, this is a partial product, and this is a partial product. Help me out, kids. 0 plus 0 plus 8. Right, that's 8. 0 plus 0 plus 4. Right, that's 4. 6 plus 4, that's 10. So I put down a 0 here and carry up a 1. 1 and 1 is 2. My final product is 2048. Okay, and here it is again right here. We're going to do the exact same thing, but they gave us a 4-digit factor this time times a 1-digit factor. There's 4 digits right here. So let's do this. It's the exact same thing, and we just have one more space in our area model. So I'm going to put 1 factor on the side here. This is going to be a 5, and it's going to be driving that way, isn't it? Okay. And then we have 3,425. That's 3,000 plus 400 plus 20 plus 5. Now 5 is the smallest amount, so we're going to give it the smallest space. 20 is a little bit bigger. 400 is a lot bigger. Okay, we'll give it more space right there. And 3,000 is a lot bigger. So let's do this. We're going to use a distributive property. All these numbers up on the top are driving down like this direction. I told you before that that 5 is driving this way, and they're going to crash here, 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 and here. Well, 5 times 3,000. I know that 5 times 3 is 15. 1, 2, 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3 zeros, and that's 15,000. Then I'm going to go, I just did this, right? Now I'm going to go here. 5 times 400. Well, 5 times 4 is 20, and there's 2 zeros. So that's 2,000, but we call that 2,000, don't we? All right, then we're going to do the next one. We're going to go 5 times 20. Well, 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 more 0 makes 100. And then I'm going to go way over here and go 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Okay? Now we just have to add these up. We got 15,000. Then we have 2,000. Then we have 100. And then we have 25. And you just need to find the sum of all those right there. Okay? So this one right here is 0, 0, 0, and 5 is 5. 0, 0, 0, and 2 is 2. A 0, a 0, and a 1 is a 1. We have a 5 and a 2, that's a 7. And we have a 1 and a nothing. And the sum right there is 17,125. And that's also our product. We took all the partial products, added them together, and we got our final product, 17,125. Okay, kids, you're learning how to use the area model to find the product. All right, here it is again. They gave it to you in terms of an area model, but they also broke it up into an equation right here. And let's just look at that real fast, okay? Over here, they say 518 times 4 equals 500 plus 10 plus 8. That's 518 times 4, okay? Well, 4 times 5 is 20, plus we have 2 zeros right here, so that's 2,000. Then we have 4 times 10, that's 40. And 4 times 8 is 32. Now we just have to add these together. So right here, they wanted you to go something times 4. Well, that's 500 times 4. Plus, we had 10 times 4. Okay, right here, right? We went 500 times 4, 10 times 4, and then 8 times 4. All right, well, we said that each one of these, 518 times 4 equals 2,000 plus 40 plus 32. And if you add them all together, you get your final product. Okay, and that's easy. We have 2,040 plus 32 is 72, so it's 2,072. Get it? Okay, well, today in class, you're going to do workbook pages 183 and 184. Then you're going to do practice pages 55 and 56. Don't worry, we'll help you out. Let's take a look at what's on the Friday quiz. Kids, today you're learning how to use the area model to find the product of 3 and 4 digit numbers. All right, well, on the Friday quiz, you have this, and you have, I'm going to help you set it up, okay? We have 6,232 times 3. All right, we're going to put the 3 right there. And then we're going to decompose the 6,232 into 6,230 and 2. All right, well, it's going to be 6,000, right? 230 and 2. All right, and then you divide it up like this, right? All right, well, car 3 is driving this way. Car 6,000 is driving this way, car 200 is driving this way, car 30 is driving this way, car 2 is driving this way, and you're going to fill in the partial products for each one right here. 3 times 6 is 18, okay, but this is really thousands, so it's 18,000. Car 3 goes this way and 200 goes this way, they crash right here. 3 times 2 is 6, and then you have 2 zeros, 600. 3 times 3 is 9, but it's really another 0 right there, so it's 90. And 3 times 2 is 6, and you add it up. Now, the same thing, I'm not going to do it for you, but you can add these up. All right, well, the same thing is true for this one. We're going to put the 5 right here. And this is going to be 3,317. That's 3,000 plus 300 plus a 10 plus a 7. Okay, and you're going to divide it up like that right there. All right, well, that's enough of a hint for you. You can figure this out. You're smart like that. Kids, you're learning how to use the area model to find the product. Go ahead and give it a try. If you have any questions, come and see us. We will help you. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.